Hello everyone, good afternoon, good morning. I'm just going to do a little rundown on the score sheet for SVL and YSVL for those of you who might need a little bit of a tutorial. So this is the actual Sydney Volleyball League screenshot. Okay, so this bit here is already pre-filled normally, these things that I'm marking here, and these bits, this one. Okay, so if you're doing the duty, this one here would say ASC, and that's also pre-filled. What you need to fill to start with is really just this one here. Say for example, this bit, these two, this one and this one. So if team A, let's say, is pro volley versus let's say SUV. Okay, so you have then a choice to select if they're team A or team B. See how you've got A or B here, and then A or B here, and this one too. So what you need to do is not fill, you have to write either A here or B here, but I don't want you guys to fill that out first before the coin toss, okay? Because what would happen is when you go to this side, see how you've got for set one over here, set one. So this is the score sheet that you would use for set one. You've got an A team here and a B team here. So if you imagine that this whole thing here is the court, okay, and this is the net. So this would be team A should be on this side and team B should be on this side. That way, when you're flicking the score, if this side wins a point, you flick this side, and if this side wins a point, you flick this point. So it just makes it easier to manage how to flip the scoreboard, right? So once the coin toss is done, if they pick that they caught the team A is on the left side or team B is on the right side, that's when you fill this out. So let's say pro volley here won the toss and they chose to serve, but then SUV on this side chose court, but they chose the right side of the court. So then we would make this team here team B, and then this side here is team A pro volley. Okay, so that way here we write SUV, and then here we write pro volley. Okay, but because pro volley won the toss, what we want to do is make sure that we mark them as a server or a receiver. So pro volley here won the serving, so you would circle the server, and then on this side you would mark them, circle that there like that, because that's gonna let you know that, or you don't really need to circle it, you can just go like this. So just to let you know that they're serving. On the other side, you would put on this side, because they're receiving, you would totally cross this off like that. You would totally cross it off. So then it's easier to view that they didn't serve this particular game. And then here, you would also circle this one because they were receiving. Okay, so all right, now we've got the rotation sheet. They will give you the rotation sheet. So remember on the score sheet, let me draw it for you. On the rotation sheet, you know how it looks like this. I'm sure you guys have seen this before. So you've got team like that, set like that, and then you've normally got a circle here that you put the number for the libero. Okay, so then there's a line there, and then you've got positions. So then that person, that person, that person, this one, and this one. So this this line here signifies the net. This is your serving area here. Okay, so if whatever these numbers are, it represents this number here is 1, this number is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It corresponds to this one. See, to this one. Oh, sorry. So this one goes to here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So whatever the number is that they would put in this here, for example, let me delete these things. So if I said, so the coach has already done it. So that, let's say this is for pro volley, set 1, and the libero number is 22, right? Their setter is, say, let's just put random numbers here, 6, 2, 4, 8, 12, and 30, and 6, 61. Okay, so I'm going to write this position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to write these numbers here. 6, 2, 4, 8, 12, 61. So then you would do the same for the other side for SUV, because this one was pro volley, remember? So you would do that. So the libero, see how it's got the circle there and it's got the libero number, that goes here. Libero, so you'd put 22 here. Get it? Okay. So now we've learned how to transpose whatever is on the rotation sheet onto the score sheet. Okay, now let me explain how to score this. Okay, so when you're looking at the whole score sheet, let's just concentrate on one side. So this is the person that's serving, right? So when they're serving, they're winning points. What happens is, I'll just show the whole thing. Okay, so what happens is we've marked that there, right, that they're serving. So every point that this side that pro volley scores, we cross off here. 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. On the third point, they lost the point. So on your score sheet, on your scoreboard, you would have flipped 3 points. That means here we write 3. We write the score at the end of that person's serve, right? So you know how you got what, that was 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how many times it goes around. That's the amount of times that they've rotated. That's their second serve, third serve, fourth serve after they've done the full circle. Because you know how this one serves first, 3 serves first, and then no, this one serves first, this one next, that one next, that one next, that one next, that one next. So when they go full circle and go back to here, that's gonna be here, right? Okay, so let me just, okay, so now it's 3. Sorry, I won't delete that. So they've lost a point, so they're up to this side has lost a point. They're up to 3 points there. So I'm going to go across here. So if you remember, SUV chose to receive, right? And that's why we crossed this out. So now it's this side serve because the other side lost. So see how it's number 2? They serve first because this guy rotates out. So we mark this one to serve like that. See how it had a 1? Because that's their first serve. Already, because they lost the point, the other side lost the point, they already get 1 point here like that. So they keep serving, whatever, however many points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 5 points in a row straight and before they lost their serve. So they got 5 points in total on the scoreboard is 5. So we would put 5 here. Okay, and then so now they've lost the serve. So then we go back to the other side, which is they already had 3 points before, right? So it was like that already. So now we're going to add 1 point. So here we had this one here had 3. So now the second server is serving. We don't write anything in there. They keep serving until they lose the serve. So it's, let's say she got 3 serves and won 3 points. So 1, 2, 3. So that's 8. That's 7 points there now, right? So here, when this person finishes serving, we write 7 here. That means on the 7th point they lost it and it went to the other side. Does that make sense so far? Okay, so all right. So once the game is finished, okay, so let's say let's say Pro Volley won. Okay, Pro Volley won. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, up to 25. We've crossed it all off. Okay, so up to 25. Okay, sorry, you don't cross off the last number. You circle that last number because that's a final score of that set. So what we do now is that we can see that they went all the way to 25. We don't want to be ambiguous or like to be confusing in what we're doing. So we're going to cross this off. All the points that we didn't use, we're going to cross off because they're irrelevant. So we don't want them. Okay, we'll do the same to the other side. Say SUV only got 10 points. So their one would be 10 points like this, right? 10 points. And then we don't need all the other scores. So we're going to cross it off like that. Okay, so yeah, crossed off. All right, so oh sorry, my bad, this bit here that was crossed off, right? So they finished at 10, we circled 10, sorry, and then we go like that. Yeah, so okay, so the next thing that I'm going to teach you is these things here, the timeouts. So the first timeout that they call, say for example Pro Volley called the timeout, right? So we would populate that here, the score of who at that time of the timeout. So let's say Pro Volley called the SUV called the timeout. They were 8 and Pro Volley was 18. But because SUV called the timeout, we put their score first, right? So we put 8 here and we put 13 here because that's Pro Volley. That's how we should. But the second time out, they call SUV called it again at 10 because it was set point 10, and then this one is 24. Okay, the people who always call the timeout, that's whose score goes in the first bit. All right. Okay, so that's it for the timeout. Let me have a look. Oh, before anything else, actually, sorry, my bad. Before you started scoring, before the game had actually started, you needed to put the start time here. So normally it's a beginning of when the game started. When the set finished, you put it here. Okay, so this is only for the set, so start time, end time. So we have to write that. So before anything else, I need to show you this side here. Okay, this side's very important because this should be filled out before any game starts, right? So in our case here, Team A was Pro Volley. Team B was SUV, right? So then they need to have the players' names populated here. In our case these days, because we're doing everything online through RevSport, these names should be populated. Please note that coaches are no longer allowed to add names, okay, handwritten names. If the person's name is not in here, you don't let them play. Okay, they're not allowed to write, I'm going to add April today because I'm playing for Pro Volley today. No. Big no. Okay. Okay, and then the numbers here to make sure, the numbers that go here, make sure that none of them are the same. They all have to be unique numbers. Okay, because otherwise, how do you determine? You don't know the people playing, you don't know who they are, so we just know them by their numbers. So make sure none of these are doubled up. So make sure, and they're not allowed. Say for example, one player has 11 and the other one has 11 as well, and they put a tape over it to make it a 0. Not allowed to tape numbers either. They need to have a unique number that's not the same. Okay, so no taping of numbers. We're not allowed to tape numbers in SVL. So if they have players that have the same numbers, call for advice from the chief ref, or the organizer will be there. If you're at sports halls, they're normally in the middle court with a table. If you're at Netball Central, they're normally in that office in that office near the stairs. So just ask for advice what you should do, because there's people that are out of uniform because their numbers are not right. Okay. And we need to be vigilant about that, because if we don't do it properly, we're going to get fined for it as the duty team. Okay, so the coaches, so once all of this is done here, you must get their coach, their captain, and then the co-captain, the coach, assistant coach, and team captain, and the coach to sign. Once this is signed, it's final as well. So once this is signed, they can't change any numbers, they can't do anything there. So don't allow them to do that. So even with do you remember the rotation sheet that you had earlier? That there, remember this one? That has a bit here that says coach, and then there's a signature. So once they sign here, that is final. They can't change it. Okay, so don't allow any changes once that is signed. That's against the law. Okay, so that's done. So with this one, Pro Volley, you need to Pro Volley, this bit here, you need to write Pro Volley, and you have the SUV here. They were Team B, this was Team A, so you just need to make sure that that's populated. Okay, so now we've done the whole game. So you don't go from here, from this side down to here. No. So you go from set 1, and then you go to this side, which is set 2. Okay, this set 2 here. And then you do exactly the same thing as you did in the other side. You put your start time here, you put your, at the end of the game, you put your end time, and then you do your normal scoring. So, okay, so the last bit of this score, the second last bit of this score sheet is making sure that this one here is the results. So our Team A was Pro Volley. Okay, our Team B was SUV. Okay, so Pro Volley, in the first set, they won with 25. Oh, no, sorry, that's a time. Points is here, 25. And as you recall, SUV only got 10 points. This is win, so they won 1. These guys won 0. S is substitutions, so you count how many times they've substituted, which I'll go back to in a minute. So they didn't, let's say they did 2 subs, and then these guys have 2 subs, and then these guys called 2 timeouts, and these guys called 0 timeouts. Okay, so points, this one's points, wins, substitutions, and timeouts. Okay, and then remember how you had your start and end time? You calculate the end time minus the start time, you end up with the duration of the set, let's say 22 minutes. Okay, so let's just make up fictional number. So let's say SUV won this set, okay, 25. So they won one, they had no subs, and they only had one timeout. Let's say these guys went 23. They didn't win this set, so it's 0. They didn't have any substitutions and they didn't have any timeouts. So then the duration of the game was a start time and the end time, let's say 20 minutes. And then they played a third set and Pro Volley won 15. And then these guys went to 9 points. And then so that means this is 0. And they didn't have any substitutions and they didn't have any timeouts. Same with these guys. They didn't do any of that stuff this time. Okay, so, and this game lasted all of 12 minutes. Okay, so to start with, this bit here is a total of all of these. So 20, 42, 52, 54. So it's 54 minutes for the entire thing. And then we tally everything here. We tally these things. Okay, so 2 plus 1 is 3, 2 plus 0 is 2, 1, 25, 35, 35, 44. Okay, and then 25 plus 15 is 40, plus 20 is 60, plus 3 is 63. And then, sorry, this one should be 1 because they won one set. 1 plus 1 equals 2, and then that's 2, and that's 0. Okay, so match starting time, that's the very beginning of your first set, which is, let's say, 8 a.m. And then the very end, hang on, total match duration, match ending time, let's say they ended at 8:54. So then the total duration of the match should be 0 hours and 54 minutes. Okay, so in this case, it's a clear win because these guys won two sets, right? So in here we would write P Pro Volley, PRO, and then these guys won one set, so it's like 2-1. That's your final thing. So if you're actually the captain of the team as well, you need to make sure that this area here is completely correct and true. You need to check everything in each one of these things that they're true, and especially this is correct, okay? Because after all of that's done, when you've checked it, they're going to ask you as captains to sign here. In this bit here, they're going to ask you to sign. If you're the duty team, you need to ask the captains to sign here, okay, from each team. And then you need to also fill who your first referee is, who's your second referee, who's the scorer, and who's assistant scorer, and they all need to sign in this part here. They all need to sign here, okay? Right, okay, so I'm going to go back a step to the scoring bit. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. So I'm going to write down Pro Volley because this was the Pro Volley side. Okay, so we had, I'm just going to write numbers down just so 6, 4, 2, 1, 8, 10. Okay, so I'm going to talk about substitutions now. So when so this is the court. Okay, the proper etiquette, this is the net. So the proper etiquette is the person that's subbing should stand on this side. Either the person being subbed out should stand on this side. The person subbing in should stand on this side. Okay, so that we can the duty team can clearly see what number is going out and what number is going in. This is protocol. Every player should do this, okay? You don't just run off the court. You stand here and the other one stands there. Once the duty team says, yes, go ahead, you leave the court, you go enter to replace that person, okay? So let's say in this one, they're subbing number 4 and number 11 is going in. So this number here is 4, and then this is number 11, right? So you go into this bit. See these little boxes here? That's where you write that. Okay, so 4, 11. That's it. That's all you need to do. So that you looking at this, that means that 11 is now on court, no longer number 4. Later on, they're going to sub again. So this time, number 11 is in the court, number 4 is outside. So they're going to swap. So 4 is going in, 11 is going out. All that needs to happen is you put 4 back here. That tells you now that 11 is out, 4 is back in. Okay. All right. So this here, this rule of substitution has a maximum number of entries of 3. Okay. So once 11 goes back in, 4 comes back in. When 4 comes back in, right? So 1, 2, 3. This is the last time that 4 can go back into the court. Then once that's it, they can't go back. So the best way to mark it is to go like this. And then you make sure you tell the coach as the duty person to say number 4 can't, they can still come out, but they can't go back in after this. So you say this is the last appearance for number 4. Okay. So once they sub again, 11 comes back in, you're going to go like that as well, because 11 can't come out because number 4 can't go back in for them anymore. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Only 3 appearances maximum allowed. But you need to give them warning, because the coaches are busy coaching their team. They might not realize that that's the last entry for that person. They might not remember that, oh, I got to get that person out now. Got to, that's the 3rd time that they're in, or they're not going to remember counting that. So that's our job to remind them to say that's their last entry, and then, they can manage that from their end. Okay. So I think I've pretty much covered everything else. At our level, I don't think any of these things are needed at this point, especially in JSVL. In YSVL, we probably won't need any of them. And sanctions, and hardly any sanctions either. Sanctions is red cards and yellow cards and disqualifications and stuff like that. When this happens, you need to call the chief referee anyway. They'll help you fill these bits out if you have to, because when it becomes a sanction, you really need to escalate it to a chief referee or the organizer of the competition. Like I said, at Netball Central, it's near the stairs, and at Sports Halls, it's in Court E, in the middle with a table. Just escalate it. But apart from that, that should be it. And if you have any questions, let me know. Bye.